Hi everyone, it's Stephanie from The Uncommon Creative, and I'm here today with my partner in crime, Tessa Linden, who will be speaking at the Uncommon Creative Collective next September, the 22nd to the 24th of 2018 in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Hi Tessa.
Hello.
How are
Can't
you?
wait.
I know, it's coming close, it feels like.
I know it's going to be here before we know it.
Okay, so you are going to be talking about marketing, which I think is such an important topic, and a little bit about time management as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and why it is that these topics are things that you want to present?
Well, I think actually it's sort of a perfect blend of my background and where I am today. So I went to University for Business Communications, and then upon graduation, ended up actually teaching as as a corporate trainer as one of my first jobs right out of university. I just love it. I mean, I really do love being in front of people and sharing information. I think marketing is something that is often overlooked in our industry. We focus so much on our skills, which, do not get me wrong, absolutely fundamentally important. But then once you've developed your photography skills, it's what's next and how do we grow our businesses? And I think that's the best opportunity to do it. Oftentimes, especially more established photographers, rely more so on word of mouth. But what about when you're a new photographer, or you've moved locations, as people do, or you want to try something new and grow your client base? So maybe you want to get into a whole different genre that you haven't yet done. I think that's where that really comes into play, and knowing how to market your business, how to work Facebook, which there's so much to learn there. And we'll definitely be covering all the mysteries of Facebook marketing. Because it's certainly when you're able to harness it, a really great place to get your name and your business out there.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of mystery about especially using social media for marketing. So how is it that you keep yourself up to date? Because I know things are always changing.
So Facebook is always changing, and it really is just a matter of learning the system. First of all, having just a foundation of what are all the different aspects of Facebook that you can leverage. Like, how do you use Facebook Advert Manager just in general? There's different components of it. Which component is more effective for what type of campaign you want to run? And then really it is a matter of just then staying on top of the latest information on what the algorithm is doing. It does seem like sort of a game, but I do think once you have an understanding of how it works, it's really not as hard as it seems. I've had many stops and starts in my business. I think you know that, whether it was having children or taking time off for other reasons. And it's been something that I've had to rely upon, and also now I'm in a situation where all of my past clients are kind of aging out of the newborn system. None of my older clients are having newborns. So it's, you do constantly have to chase new clients if you want to remain in business, right? So
Yeah, that's one of the things about newborn work specifically. I feel that family photographers, it might come a little bit easier because people might revisit through the years family photography. But for that newborn market, you really do need to get clients, sort of on a loop always. You never stop. And just rest on your laurels and sit back. So one of the things that I think is really impressive about the way that you work is that I've noticed you take a lot of courses yourself and to keep you up to date. And so I think it's really interesting now. Do you think that all of the courses are applicable to photographers, or do you think that, perhaps there are things you can take and things you can leave when you're in the world of photography?
What I think photographers have such a great advantage of when it comes to social media marketing is that we have a constant stream of content, right? So you do a new session and you have content for your next post. You do a session the next week, you have more content. Whereas a lot of people are in that situation where, as a marketer, they're trying to come up with content. A marketing calendar for photographers is so easy to fill, really. We're constantly doing new sessions, and I think there's just a few tricks to really be mindful of, which is really planning it out in advance and once you sort of set it sounds crazy, but you sit down for maybe a day and set your calendar for the year, and really be strategic about when you're sharing images and what you're sharing. You can spend as little as, honestly, I think I do about 2 hours a month scheduling marketing for my personal business, and then for Uncommon Creative, probably another, I would say, 2 hours. For photography, the content that's just inherent in your job. You're always making new content that you can then decide. I know we have a real temptation that we take something and we want to share it right away, and that's great. But I think sometimes if you're really strategic about it, holding off and thinking about when would it be best to use that image to your advantage is something that people should actually be mindful of.
I mean, some people can leverage it because they're aware enough to do so, but that there are certain times of day and certain days of the week that work better for certain people. Is that something that you'll help people to find out how they can find that out and where they can look at this stuff?
You know what? We'll just use, I mean, we have, I have my own personal metrics for my business, for the Uncommon Creative. We have our own metrics as well that we follow, and that's something that we will definitely talk about, is how to figure out for your own business what is going to serve you best, because it is different for everybody. So what might work for Tessa Linden Photography doesn't necessarily work for the Uncommon Creative, because it's two different sets of people that we're trying to reach, and when might they be online? It's a bit of a guessing game, but there are certainly tools that are very easy to use that everybody can use, regardless of how you're hosting your website, to really figure out when would be the best time for you to use those specific platforms, and then schedule your calendar to that.
Yeah. So you were mentioning the marketing calendar, and I'm wondering, so a lot of people might be sitting thinking, well, I don't have one of those. I don't know how to do that, how to put that together. Is that something, when people take your class, like, will you provide them with a PDF or something so they can go home and that's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll share information about all the different tools on Facebook and how we can use those. Some of the other tools that I use and we use at the Uncommon Creative to keep our marketing flowing. Let's pick a campaign you want to do, maybe, I don't know, Mother's Day sessions. When should you start thinking about releasing images that might prime your audience to book one of those sessions? Because I'm telling you, if you do it a week before, you just start, blasting them with mom and me images, your audience isn't necessarily primed for that information. So yeah, there's more that goes into it, but absolutely we will have lots of information for everybody. Yeah, most of the programs, actually all of the programs that we're using are free.
Other than any advertising, I would guess.
Sure. Obviously, and we'll discuss that as well in regards to Facebook and setting an advertising budget, because the fact of the matter is organic reach is kind of dead. And nobody wants to hear that, but it is unfortunately the truth. Facebook is a business, and they're a smart business. There's a budget that it's not a huge budget, surprisingly. It doesn't have to be a ginormous budget. It doesn't have to be an ongoing budget, but certainly if you can invest in new props, you can invest in advertising. So
that you can use your new props.
Right. And I love props, don't even. I mean, I have a busy life, and I don't have a lot of time to waste or guess on what might work. So it has been a matter of developing systems that can offer flexibility, because don't get me wrong, if you come home and you expect that you were able to set aside that day to work, and now you have a sick child that you have to deal with, there does have to be some flexibility, and I understand that too. But something that you can live with, like something that's really very easily achievable within not a huge amount of time. And I think the more that you plan, I'm a huge planner. It's like, I love planning. The more that you can plan anything, the smoother it's going to go and the easier it's going to be to execute.
Well, Tessa, it has been lovely talking to you today. I think that all photographers have a lot to learn in the area of marketing and can really benefit from your classes. So I'm super excited that you're going to be speaking with us at the Uncommon Creative next September, and hope that we'll see you there. And you can sign up for classes, and yeah, there'll be a plethora of information for people, but in particular, I think the marketing is going to be really important and something really valuable for people. So thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Join us September 22nd to the 24th, 2018 in beautiful Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario for the Uncommon Creative Collective, Canada's Family Photography Conference.
Oh, hello. We're talking about fun facts. What is the Tessa fun fact that I don't know?
A Tessa fun fact that you don't know. Speaking of doing things in threes, I have a cat with 3 legs.
Oh, they would have to see it.
I know. I don't think he'll make it. He's really shy. He's a shy guy. Now I feel like I really need to deliver with this cat.
I know, right? Can you find him?
I found him! Yeah, he's really happy to be here. You're coming.